In 2006, the world was jolted by a piercing roar from North Korea as it conducted a nuclear test, defying the global push for denuclearization. This act was seen as an overt provocation, to which the United States responded with fury, swiftly initiating comprehensive sanctions against North Korea through the United Nations. To this day, those sanctions remain in effect. Yet, an odd phenomenon has been observed. North Korea seems unaffected by the sanctions and continues to thrive, showing an uncommon resilience in the face of global isolation. These sanctions have become a heavy burden, portraying North Korea as an isolated rebel in the international community, stubbornly out of sync with the world due to its nuclear ambitions. Nuclear weapons ended World War II but have since been a constant threat to humanity. Preventing nuclear proliferation became a global objective after the war, leading to the signing of the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, NPT. The treaty's core goals were to prevent nuclear states from expanding their arsenals and non-nuclear states from developing nuclear weaponry. In 2004, UN Resolution 1540 reaffirmed the principle of non-proliferation. However, North Korea, originally a signatory, gradually shifted its stance, deciding to develop nuclear weapons in response to perceived threats from South Korea and the US, a decision that shocked the international community and heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula. North Korea's first nuclear test in October 2006 sparked widespread condemnation, with the US leading the charge for sanctions to halt further nuclear development. This led to the creation of UN Resolution 1718, a comprehensive sanctions regime encompassing political, economic, and military aspects aimed at isolating North Korea unless it changed course. Economically, North Korea was cut off from the international financial system and trade restrictions were imposed. Politically, its global standing was tarnished, and the resolution also strictly limited material shipments to curb their nuclear program. Despite these sanctions, North Korea's stance remained defiant, continuing its nuclear research and causing a deadlock in the six-party talks meant to address the nuclear issue, leading to more sanctions from the UN. Yet North Korea remains unyielding, with Kim Jong-un codifying the parallel development of the economy and nuclear capabilities into the nation's constitution, showing no regard for the UN's position. Interestingly, sanctions, meant as a deterrent, have not achieved their goal, but have instead prompted North Korea to find ways to circumvent them, maintaining its stability and continuing its nuclear program. This has been underscored by reports such as one from the Rand Corporation, highlighting North Korea's adeptness at avoiding sanctions. This endurance and the continued development of military capabilities serve as a deterrent to South Korea and maintain a delicate balance on the peninsula, challenging the US and South Korea. The question then arises, how has North Korea managed to sustain its position despite extensive sanctions? The answer lies in North Korea's seasoned expertise in evading sanctions, summarized in three main strategies. Firstly, developing foreign trade might seem nearly impossible at first glance, as North Korea's foreign trade has been in deficit for many years with almost no profit. However, this situation changed at the end of 2011. In 2012, North Korea even achieved a trade surplus, a success that can be attributed to a policy from the 1980s. While North Korea's military-first policy is well known, it is less known that in the 1980s, North Korea also prioritized trade, establishing international trading companies in 1986 that truly began the path to profitability through foreign trade. Despite ongoing sanctions in recent years, North Korea's foreign trade system has continually sought breakthroughs. Unlike most countries, North Korea's trade system is closely related to its overall political strategy, meaning North Korea has amplified the role of trading companies, mobilizing the entire country's effort in trade to counteract sanctions. North Korea has thus made significant advancements in its trade system before real sanctions could take effect, making it one of the most important weapons against sanctions. Consequently, North Korea may appear isolated, but it has managed to reap significant benefits from economic globalization. However, the true extent of this data is probably only known within North Korea's inner circle of power. Secondly, exporting labor is another crucial strategy for North Korea's livelihood. This involves sending North Korean labor abroad to earn foreign currency. Previously, incomplete statistics showed that in a zone with 124 South Korean businesses, there were about 55,000 North Korean workers who earned over 100 million USD in wages annually. Interestingly, according to agreements, these wages do not go directly into the workers' personal accounts, but are instead subject to a loyalty fund required by North Korean law, after which the money is distributed to individuals through a collective account. While there is no specific data on the total number of North Korean workers abroad, it is clear that the income they bring back forms a significant part of North Korea's foreign exchange earnings, giving North Korea more confidence in facing sanctions. Thirdly, to expand its business scope and mitigate the impact of sanctions, North Korea occasionally acts as a middleman, especially in the sensitive area of arms trade, often being linked to military services provided to African nations. These services include both arms sales and military training. For instance, 2 military factories were reportedly built in Ethiopia, a project credited to North Korean overseas assistance. Countries like Uganda and Angola also maintain consistent military cooperation with North Korea, and UN efforts to impose bans in this area often prove ineffective. Notably, North Korea reportedly earns 500 to 800 million USD annually in the arms trade sector. In recent years, North Korea has continued to seek innovations in military services. Tourism, for instance, might become the next focal point. The closed environment created by sanctions could paradoxically become North Korea's tourism industry's biggest selling point, attracting numerous curious tourists. Once the tourism industry is developed, it would undoubtedly create a new economic growth point. In view of all this, despite severe sanctions, North Korea seems to always find loopholes, preventing sanctions from fully taking effect. This, in turn, elevates the entire country's focus on nuclear weapons. How the situation on the Korean peninsula will evolve and when the sanctions will end remains to be seen. Thank you all for watching. Please don't hesitate to like, subscribe, share, and support the Knowledge Nook.